Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Mathis. I'm a developer advocate for Timescale, and today we're going to talk about improving the cost efficiency while analyzing your crypto assets. So I'm sure a lot of people at Bitcoin 23 or Bitcoin Miami have some kind of vested interest into what the price of Bitcoin is doing, whether it's going to go up or down, maybe other cryptocurrencies too, but probably Bitcoin specifically. One way to figure out what the price of Bitcoin is going to do would be to hodl and pray that the price is going to go up. Maybe a more proven method would be to do actual mathematical analysis on the price of Bitcoin and its past performance to make an educated guess as to what it's going to do. And then based on that, you can do trades or you can sell Bitcoin or whatever you please, right? One way to do that is to get a lot of data. And this is usually the pretty easy part of doing the analysis is getting the data, because there are a lot of companies like 12 Data, Masari, CoinMarketCap that will happily provide you with API access to the current price of Bitcoin, the past price, and all that. So this is the easy step. The hard part is storing it and actually doing the mathematical analysis. A naive way and a naive approach would be to store all that data into a big CSV file and then use Python to sort of iterate over that and calculate some metrics or try to answer your questions. You're going to run into performance issues down the line eventually, because Python is not the fastest language and CSV is also really not the most efficient way to both store and query your data. As soon as you get multi-gigabyte, maybe 10 gigabyte CSV files, things are going to slow down drastically. On top of that, you're going to have to write a lot of Python functions yourself. You're going to be writing a lot of loops and a lot of things that have maybe already been written in other solutions. On top of that, your flow is going to be pretty awful. If you have multiple questions, say you want to know the average on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, or you want to do some distribution or whatnot, you're going to have to write these in a whole bunch of different scripts, or you're going to have to write a sort of a CLI tool, and that's not very ideal, especially if you want to save time. So a great solution to this problem would be to use a database, an actual database, mind you. An excellent candidate for this database would be to use Postgres. Postgres is a very mature and proven database, very well-rounded. It has all the features we need. A lot of mathematical features are built in, and it's usually pretty fast. Now, as much as I love Postgres, that might also not be the ideal solution, because for your average finance bro or even your very seasoned software developer, maintaining and running a Postgres server is frankly not the easiest task. On top of that, your time series performance is probably not going to be as easy and as fast as you might like it to be. So my recommendation would be to use Timescale. And for the people that don't know what Timescale is, considering you're watching this video, I'm guessing you do, but just to reiterate, Timescale is a time series database built on top of Postgres, especially engineered to accelerate your time series workloads. And as we all know, crypto tick data is just financial tick data, like your regular securities, and all of that is essentially just time series data, which Timescale is really great at. But don't take my word for it. Take Masari's word for it. Masari is a pretty big player in the crypto space, and they use Timescale in their current deployment or in their production deployment to power their ingests, their data ingest, their user-facing APIs, their power trading views, etc. And they've actually switched over from InfluxDB to Timescale. And since doing that, they have five-folded their ingests performance. They have shaved off seconds off of their queries, and especially at this scale, all of that makes a very, very big difference. But they're not alone. There's a whole bunch of other crypto companies that are currently using Timescale, like Protocol Labs, Chainlink, Coinbase, Trading Strategy. A lot of those people were actually at Bitcoin, so if you had an opportunity to talk to them, that was great. Maybe you talked to them about Timescale. I don't know. But yeah, these are all pretty heavy hitters in the crypto space. So I think that speaks volumes about Timescale itself. One way they get a lot of this performance is through one of our core and prime features called continuous aggregates. And I'm not going to go too into depth because we have a lot of great documentation that probably explains it better than I can in a couple of minutes. But continuous aggregates are essentially is a way for you to pre-aggregate your data so that when you're trying to get an answer to your question, a lot of that data has already been pre-calculated. So that you don't have to do the calculation on the fly, which saves you a whole load of time, which is especially important if you're trying to do, if you're trying to make a decision with a live trading bot, or you're visualizing this data on a dashboard, or if you just want real-time data and you don't want to have to wait 5 minutes for a very deep and analytical query to calculate, you can use continuous aggregates. And this is a really powerful feature that I adore and love, and I think this is great. So that kind of covers performance. Obviously, there's a million other Timescale features that will help you speed up your queries, but this is probably the main one. Performance and query performance is only one part of cost efficiency. A lot of cost goes to actually storing your data, and especially if you have a lot of it, if you're storing hundreds of coins and you get one metric maybe every second, you're going to have a lot of data sooner or later. And one way to sort of negate those costs a little bit is to use some of our cost efficiency features for storage. The main one being compression. We have best-in-class compression, and on the crypto data set that you might have seen us use at Bitcoin, we were able to get 88% compression, which literally translates to 88% cheaper storage. Now, the best part about this, in my opinion, is the fact that this is like a set and forget policy. You see those two SQL statements down there. Those are the only two you need to enter to enable compression, and then you can essentially just forget about it. Timescale will handle all of the compression going forward. Timescale will automatically figure out what's best for you, and we'll try to optimize that compression to the highest degree. And again, 88% compression. If I was able to go to my boss one day and tell him that we were able to save 88% on something going forward, I think that would be a pretty good day for me personally. Another great feature that Timescale released a couple months ago is data tiering. And data tiering allows you to essentially put your old data in the cloud, where there's bottomless storage. So usually there's about a 16 terabyte uncompressed limit for storage. With our data tiering, that limit essentially is gone. Because we're storing it in a somewhat slower storage, it's obviously going to be a lot cheaper, and it also works with compressed data. So you can kind of stack that compression and the data tiering to get even more cost efficiency. Obviously, again, we have the set and forget policies. This is only a single SQL statement here that allows you to essentially data tier or tier all the crypto ticks data after 4 weeks. Because in most cases, you're not going to do intensive analysis on data that's older than a couple weeks, maybe a couple months. And what a lot of our people do is they use continuous aggregates over this tiered data, so they have fast access to that aggregated data, but the underlying data stays in the cloud, and they don't have to manually delete that, or they don't have to get rid of it, because that's something you ideally wouldn't want to do. So these are some great features that Timescale has. Obviously, we have many more. If you have any questions, or if you just want to talk to any of us, do reach out. Obviously, if you're at Bitcoin and you had the opportunity to talk to us, that was great. But we're available on social media, Twitter, LinkedIn, I guess GitHub. I don't know if you can reach out there, but you'll find us. Come talk to us. Do talk to us. We love to talk to people. We love to see how we might be able to fit into your system and give you the performance increases and storage cost efficiency that you need. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you saw us at Bitcoin, and I hope you do check us out. And thank you very much.